Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you an absolutely amazing video today. We are talking about the refinement on my Lord of the Rings Rise to War Witch King sniper build, folks. So, 3 or 4 days ago, we posted a Witch King sniper theory crafting video where we kind of talked about the basics as we were leveling up the build and figuring out the gear that we wanted to use. And here, I believe the build is now at maximum potential. So let's take a quick look at the gear and the actual performance against this enemy Theoden, okay? So this Theoden, as you can see here, is decently geared, relatively high respect level Theoden, okay? We're looking up probably respect 8 or so with decent gear. So performing this well as a squishy ranged unit build with the Witch King, I thought this was a great stress test to kind of show you guys how effective this build can be, okay? So here we go, get excited. The Witch King, of course, my gear is next level compared to his gear. He's got 3 and 4 star purples. I have a maxed out weapon and a couple of 3-star pieces of yellow gear. So take that with a grain of salt. However, the weapon, really, you don't need to have this thing max refinement. I simply have a little bit of bonus damage here for my commander. That way he's able to hit for, 15, 20k in round 5 and again in round 10, okay? So it's a nice little added damage, but it's not really necessary. You don't need this max level reckoning. Really, the main point of this is to get the +3 attack to my archers. If you have another piece of equipment that gives you plus attack to your Uruk-hai snipers, it could be definitely worth using instead of the Reckoning, okay? But lo and behold, this Reckoning is pretty strong, so that's nice. Then I have the Ranger Shroud. This was what I was telling you guys in my other video I was going to switch to. It gives +3 attack to my ranged, so now I'm at +6 attack between the weapon and the chest. Then we have the helmet, which is going to be another +2 attack, as well as 80% chance for stun immunity for my Uruk-hai snipers, okay? So now we're at a total of 8 plus attack. Lastly, we have the Palantir of Orthanc, which is going to give you pursuit for the first 3 rounds, as well as another +2 attack. So my Uruk-hai snipers should have +10 base attack before the 30% Witch King modifiers, okay? Let's take a look. And here we are at +8. So I actually think this report might have happened as I was leveling up my chest. I wonder if I was only getting +1 attack from my chest instead of +3. So this damage could be an additional, 7 to 8% higher output with a max level chest, all right? So this is +8 damage instead of +10. That's fine, okay? Now, the point of this build is, of course, the snipers. I have 5,400 of these snipers. They are fantastically strong, especially against enemy ranged units. But they're also fairly tanky against enemy melee. So they're really not a weak unit to have in your arsenal. They pair very nicely with the Great Beasts here, right, with their Wild Yell ability and their Taunt ability. The Great Beasts are very, very tanky. Clearly, I neglected leveling up the Great Beasts and the Snipers all the way. So, alright, this is the 95% max potential build, okay? Slight room for improvement here and there. And then I am running 50 Fell Beasts because they do complement my build very well. Even though they're weak to range units, my snipers completely decimate range units in the first 2 rounds. They will eliminate all of the enemy range units, making my Fell Beasts very tanky with their flying ability for a 60% reduced damage from melee, okay? So, not a whole lot of weakness there considering how much damage output I have. Build-wise, we're maxing out Black Captain, maxing out Convener. We got maxing out Lord of the Nazgul. Now this one is kind of optional. You can reduce this one if you like. If you don't have enough respect level, right? I'm respect level 12, so let's just say you're respect level 5. You will only have 8 points in this instead of 15, which is fine. Okay, I have points in here because the main weakness for this build is that snipers have very low defense, and they get shredded by enemy commanders like Lurtz or Gimli. They can really beat them up pretty quickly. So in order to counter that, I have decided to sacrifice some points in my R5 tree in order to maximize Lord of the Nazgul, okay? And then the R5 tree, this pairs greatly with the Fell Beast. It's going to give Debuff to the enemy commander here, minus 45 might and focus, which is very strong. Felbeast, stun immunity, and then it's going to give Witch King focus and speed, which is very nice, okay, but really I'm in the R5 tree for the Dishearten ability, which reduces enemy troop damage by 21%, and the Chaotic Retreat, which reduces enemy defense by 35 at max level. Here at 6 points, it's minus 30, okay? Now that you've seen the build, Theoden, I'm not going to walk you through. You get the picture. He's got the R5 maxed out. He's got the R3 with mounted combat almost maxed out. So he has a very, very strong build here. Very high damage with good healing, okay? So this is a pretty decent Theoden. All right? Into the report itself, folks. Here we go. You can clearly see that the Witch King coming in hot and heavy with almost 57,000 damage. That's not massive, but I think the weapon probably contributed about 20 to 30,000 of that damage, so it will help. The snipers are the real star of the show here with 237,000 damage output. And then the Felbeast, of course, very, very tanky here to absorb the pew-pew. Let's see how that played out, okay? Excuse me, I have some allergies today. All right. So we should see the snipers completely shred the enemy cavalry knights, the cavalry archers, right? The horse archers here. Okay, all right. Oh, there we go. Minus 30 defense. Oh my goodness, that's right. All right, folks, here we go. Here it is, the Felbeast coming in hot and heavy, dropping down into the sniper's attack. I did not trigger Convener dual blows, so keep in mind my damage could have been significantly higher in the first round here, but I did kill a third of the Bow Knights with one hit. My Great Beasts, of course, are going to taunt the Bow Knights so they don't hit my Felbeasts, and my Great Beasts are going to give the Wild Yell buff to my snipers going into round 2. Okay? So the Felbeasts really aren't taking any damage right now. Into round 2, folks. Here we go. The snipers did gain follow-up, so here in round 2 I did gain follow-up from Convener, which is going to put me at almost 65,000 damage. Here you can see the effect of Wild Yell boosting my damage from 30,000 to 34,700. Okay, you can literally see the damage increase there. It doesn't quite calculate out at 20% because it's based on the sniper's base damage, not the sniper's base damage plus the 30% from Witch King. So those are two separate buffs. So the snipers are getting a 30% boost to their base damage from Witch King, and then a 20% boost to their base damage from Great Beasts, giving them a total of a 50% boost to their base damage, okay? That's that's not including the plus damage on the items and other bonuses, okay? From might. All right. Very nice. Shredding, guys. I mean, look at this. Look, like, what is this? There's only 22 Bow Knights remaining and going into round 3 here. It's crazy. It'd be nice if I could kill the Bow Knights before round 3, so that way my snipers don't waste an attack on them. But okay, here comes the snipers here in round 3, folks, killing the Bow Knights, not getting very much damage out. Instead of doing 30,000+ damage, I only did 2,600 damage because there were only 22 Bow Knights alive. Now, the Felbeasts and the snipers haven't even taken damage yet. The Great Beasts are still absorbing all of the damage here going into round 4. They probably will die here. Yep, here they are. They have died here in round 4, folks. The Great Beasts have died in round 4. So I'm going to get one last hit with Wild Yell. 22,000 damage output, folks, on the Cataphracts from the snipers, okay? And keep in mind that sniper damage from the previous rounds against the enemy. Here's Reckoning, 15,000 damage. Look at that, folks. Very, very nice. Like I said, the Reckoning isn't a make-it-or-break-it weapon. You could really use any weapon that gives +2 or +3 attack to the ranged. If you have a different bow or whatever that you want to use, go for it, okay? Or even a Nightfall that gives +12% attack would be on par with this because it gives speed as well, okay? That skill from the Reckoning, even at 5-star 5 refinement, only 15,000 damage. So it's nice. It'll help. It's better than a poke in the eye with a stick, but it's nothing crazy. All right? Okay, and here's the sniper sitting for 19,000 damage. The Felbeast guys are, let's see how this is playing out. So the Cataphracts, the Cavaliers hitting the Felbeast. The amount of damage, I mean, there is, look at this, 1,600 Cavaliers, guys. 1,600 Cavaliers hitting the Fell Beast for 44-48. That's crazy. So, I have to reiterate, the strength of this build is the fact that the Great Beasts can keep the Fell Beasts alive long enough for the snipers to kill all of the enemy ranged, basically making the Fell Beasts absolutely stunningly tanky, giving the snipers a chance to put out enormous damage, okay? Very interesting. Excuse me. I mean, that's it, guys. That's the fight. I'm just continuing to be amazed at how little damage the Fell Beasts are taking. It's crazy. So little damage, guys. Cataphracts. 449 Cataphracts, only hitting for 1444 damage. It's crazy. Crazy. Okay, well, I mean, look, that's the build, folks. I mean, that's it, right? It's not going to have as much damage output as Alchemists, but if you're looking for a different type of damage, or if you're being countered by anti-burn damage commanders, this Witch King build is extremely strong. You do need the anti-stun on your helmet, and you are going to want as much plus sniper damage on your gear as you can get. And you're also going to, of course, want the Great Beasts in your lineup, okay? The Fell Beasts aren't necessarily needed. You can switch them out for something else if you like. You can even switch out the Great Beasts for something else, like Taunt Trolls, if you like. But this is going to be the strongest combination, because the Great Beasts, like I said, will keep the snipers alive long enough for the snipers to kill all of the enemy ranged. Then your Fell Beasts are going to take 60% reduced damage from the remaining troops on the field, which is absolutely fantastic. Against a massive damage commander like Theoden, the strength of keeping the Fell Beasts alive long enough to get rid of the ranged and having them face tank a bunch of melee units, very, very, very effective, okay? So, that's the build. I love you all a long time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You don't need maxed out gear. You can be just fine with plus 3 attack, 2 or 3 attack on your accessory, plus 3 attack on a weapon, and maybe you don't even need the plus 4, plus 5 attack between. I mean, shoot, I only had plus 1 on the chest, right? And plus 2 on the helmet, so maybe you can drop that plus 3 that I have and just do slightly less damage, but have different benefits, right? Maybe you're going to throw on anti-burn damage for the chest. Maybe you're going to throw on a different kind of helmet, like the Horseman's helmet, that's a guaranteed anti-stun. All of the above are fine, okay? So, if you like this video, like and sub. Love you guys a long time. Randy out.